Hello, just a quick one for me to go over last night's game against Preston. I thought it was quite abject from Sunderland, very, very poor. Didn't really have a lot of movement off the ball, didn't really play with much intensity. Other than the first 5 minutes, I suppose, over the first 5 minutes, I thought we started quite well, and I think the game just died a death, really. Obviously, Rangers changed to 4-4-2, brought in Isidore for Adam Brown, and he brought in Tommy Watson for Romain Mundo, which I kind of think made sense with Tommy Watson coming in from Mundo. Mundo's just come back from 8 weekly off with a hamstring injury, so you understand it. But for everything you've seen play, like Mayenda and Isidore playing as a front two, I mean, I've clamoured for 4-4-2 on here. You've seen other people on other platforms, channels clamour for 4-4-2 as well. Mayenda and Isidore have had that thing where it just clicks with them and you don't have to work on. But last night looked like they've never played together before. I mean, you want your centre forwards. Mate of mine was making the point behind us. You want one of them going in behind and one of them coming deep. I felt like both of them were coming deep. As you've seen, there was no chemistry there between the two of them. I think the one time they actually got close to each other, Mayenda had that chance with that volley just over the bar when he obviously, I think Mayenda's brought it down, Isidore's played it on. Isidore's crossed it and Mayenda's volleyed it. And that's the only time they ever got near each other. The other two were miles apart. I mean, we laughed. Went down the left-hand side with Certain, crossed the ball in the 6-yard box and got two centre-forwards and none of them are nowhere near it. So I don't think that particularly worked. Is it a thing where you just got to scrap? Who knows? You never know. They might just click one day. It might just been an off night for them. People saying with Tommy Watson been not particularly ready. Taking into account that is his first game in about 8 weeks. He looked very, very rusty. He had little sparks where you think he's going to do something, then didn't. Another few of them were just boring, really. It was just a poor performance from Sunderland. I'm not surprised Preston went and got the goal that they did. I'll speak about Preston in a bit, but if you look at positives for Sunderland, the only really one came from Mundo when he came off the bench. But even then, he didn't kick on at about the 85th minute when he scored that brilliant goal, absolute worldy goal. And it's the only really positive I can take from the game. Other than that, I can't. It was just one of the, it was Hull Mark 2, it was Plymouth Mark 2, it was a lot of, it's like a similar home performance against teams in the bottom end of the league. And I'm not saying it's a chance missed, because obviously Sheffield United and Burnley dropped points last night, because up until the 90th minute, Sheffield United were winning 1-0. So it wouldn't have been an opportunity missed. On to the most glaring thing I can see is that the only reason we got something out of that game was because of Preston North End. I mean, they were going down from about minute 5, and the referee they conned the referee straight away. I mean, Kessler Hayden, I think his name's called, the right wing back. I think he went down about 5 times before he eventually went off. In between the 80th minute and the 85th minute was just absolutely pathetic. It was pathetic. I've never been as angry at a football match as seeing that, and I've watched a lot of shit supporting Sunderland, and I have never been more angry than that. I think the referee was called Lewis Smith. He should never referee a championship game again. In fact, he should never referee an adult football game again, because he had no control over the game whatsoever, and it showed that in the 80th minute. It went to utter chaos. I think the Preston end have said it. Sunderland fans have said it. At one point, Preston had 12 players on the pitch. 12. And it took the Sunderland coaching staff to point out the referee that there was 12 players on the fucking pitch. That is pathetic. When you're an up-end standard referee and meant to be a championship level referee, which is the second division in the country, how can you let that happen? You couldn't let it happen. You shouldn't let it happen. And by rights, Preston got the just result, because it woke everybody up. The game was flat, the atmosphere was flat, the ground was flat, and that little 5-minute period there sprung Sunderland and the Stadium Light into action. It is no wonder why we scored. But I think scoring straight after lifted the place even more. And I think when we scored, I fancied us to win it. I thought we were going to win it. Would we deserve to win it? Not a chance. We would never have had a chance to win it. I said on the North End podcast. I'll leave a link to the podcast on my Twitter page if you go and have a look. The only team that deserved to win the game was Preston. And the only reason why Preston didn't win the game was because of Preston. It was nuts. Emil Rees scored the goal for Preston after his embarrassing miss. 2 misses really, one on the right hand side of the box and one on the edge of the box. People were saying behind me, let me shoot, and you got him put in the bottom corner. Man, that looked fucking great, didn't it? But it's just, another performance, but again, I wouldn't be surprised to see Sunderland go and beat Coventry on Friday. Would not surprise me at all. At all. Your man of the match, if I had to give one, I'd probably give it to Remain Mundell for the goal. Other than that, I don't think anyone else really stood out. I think Trey Hume was quiet after he got his yellow card. Job and Dan Neil were non-existent in the middle of the park. But I think that was playing the 4-4-2. It didn't work last night. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And last night it didn't. But we got a point. It's not a defeat. Obviously the teams around us drew. Coventry lost. So we've made a point on Coventry. We haven't lost any ground on Burnley. Haven't lost any ground on Sheffield United. And Leeds play at night. So if Leeds get a poor result, that means all the teams in the top 5 will draw points. So if 6 of you include West Brom. So what happens? These kind of game weeks happen where the top teams draw points. You just got to keep going and get back to winning ways on Saturday, hopefully, and just hope for the rest of the season. Leave a like, comment if you like the game, if anyone else stood out to you, if there's something I'm getting wrong, please leave a comment on below, leave a like, subscribe, it's free, costs you nothing. Would really appreciate it. Thanks again. I'll be back probably Friday for the Coventry preview, and let's hope we celebrate, so we go into the weekend, celebrate another 3 points after the weekend's finished. See you later. How are the lads?